The terrifying cases of America's most notorious serial killers. They looked ordinary, charming, polite, even admirable. Yet beneath their masks of normalcy hid some of the most depraved minds in American history. What compels someone not just to kill, but to do it repeatedly? This is a chilling look into the lives of three of the nation's most infamous serial killers, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, and Jeffrey Dahmer, and the investigations that finally ended their reigns of terror. The United States has produced more documented serial killers than any other nation. These predators live double lives, functioning members of society by day, ruthless hunters by night. Their motives often stem from a toxic mix of trauma, power, and psychopathy, exposing how easily evil can blend into everyday life. Ted Bundy, the charmer and the chameleon. Ted Bundy was the embodiment of deception, handsome, intelligent, and confident. To the world, he was a law student and political volunteer. In reality, he was a calculated predator who murdered young women across at least 7 states between 1974 and 1978. Bundy used charm and manipulation to earn trust, often faking injuries to lure victims to his Volkswagen Beetle. He confessed to 30 murders, though experts suspect far more. His chilling ability to appear normal even after brutal killings redefined the profile of a serial killer. Bundy's eventual capture, after multiple escapes, and his conviction, secured by forensic bite mark evidence, exposed flaws in law enforcement coordination and led to major reforms in national crime tracking. He was executed in 1989. John Wayne Gacy, the killer clown next door in suburban Chicago. John Wayne Gacy appeared to be the model citizen, a successful contractor, political volunteer, and local entertainer known as Pogo the Clown. But behind his friendly persona lay one of the most horrifying crime scenes in U.S. history. Between 1972 and 1978, Gacy murdered at least 33 teenage boys and young men, many of whom he buried in the crawl space beneath his home. His victims were often lured with promises of work before being handcuffed, tortured, and strangled. When 15-year-old Robert Piest vanished, detectives began connecting the dots, uncovering Gacy's horrifying double life. His conviction and 1994 execution exposed how easily evil can hide in plain sight, and decades later, DNA technology continues to identify his victims. Jeffrey Dahmer, the Milwaukee cannibal. Jeffrey Dahmer's crimes remain among the most disturbing in American history. From 1978 to 1991, Dahmer murdered 17 men and boys, committing acts of necrophilia, dismemberment, and cannibalism. Unlike Bundy or Gacy, Dahmer wasn't driven by charm or power. His violence stemmed from isolation and obsession. His victims, mostly young gay men of color, were often ignored by authorities, a reflection of systemic bias that allowed him to evade capture for years. When a victim escaped in 1991 and led police back to Dahmer's apartment, officers discovered a scene of unimaginable horror: photographs, body parts, and human remains. Dahmer was sentenced to life in prison and killed by a fellow inmate in 1994. Conclusion: Bundy, Gacy, and Dahmer shared chilling similarities: an utter lack of empathy, a hunger for control, and the ability to blend seamlessly into society. Their cases exposed critical gaps in law enforcement and forensic science, but also drove major advances. Bundy's crimes prompted the FBI to develop 6-cap, Gacy's and Dahmer's cases spurred improvements in forensic identification, and together, they changed how America understands the psychology of killers who walk among us. These stories remind us that evil rarely looks like a monster, it looks like someone you think you know.